This is 7.3 lesson 2, and for this lesson we are going to find the surface area of pyramids. Surface area, there we go, of pyramids. So in the last lesson we found the surface area of pyramids, but I gave you all the information you need to know. For this lesson, I'm not going to give you everything, and we're going to have to figure out at least one of our measurements in order to find the area of one of our sides. Okay, so letter A is a square pyramid. So just like before, we're going to find the area of our base first, and our base in this one is a square. So I'm going to redraw my square, and my square has a side length of 6. The formula to find the area of a square is A equals S squared. So my side is 6, so I'm going to plug in 6 for S. So 6 squared is 36. There's the area of the base. Now we talked yesterday about whenever we have a square pyramid, all of the triangles that go up to the top are exactly the same. So that's the second thing we need to find. So we have 4 of those. So looking at our triangles, in order to find the area of a triangle, I need to know the base and the height. Okay? So the base of our triangles are all 6. We know that. What I give you in here, 4 feet is a height, but it's the height of the pyramid. That is not the same thing as the height of one of our triangles. The height of our triangle is actually this line right here. We called it our slant height. And we do not know the length of that. So we're going to have to figure it out. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to create a right triangle. Okay, so that blue triangle is our right triangle. We know one of our legs is 4 feet. I give that to you. Our other leg, well, we notice that this comes right down in the middle of our square, and we know our distance all the way across the square is 6. So this triangle is only half of that distance, so it's half of 6, which is 3. Okay, so we have a right triangle. I know my 2 legs, and what I'm trying to find is my hypotenuse. Okay, and our hypotenuse is our letter C. So we're going to go back to the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So A and B are our 2 legs, so we have 4 squared plus 3 squared equals C squared. 4 squared is 16, plus 3 squared is 9. 16 plus 9 is 25 equals C squared, and then our last step is to square root both sides. So that we get 5 is our C. So that means 5 is our slant height, or the height of our triangle. So I'm going to fill out my formula now. 1/2 times 6 times 5. And that's going to give us 15. Now we must remember our biggest mistake here is going ahead and finding surface area. But we forget that I have 4 of these triangles, and this is the area of only one of them. So in order to find the area of all 4, I need to take 15 times 4, and that's going to give me 60. Now we can go ahead and find our surface area. So to find our surface area, we take the area of our base, and we add the area of all of our triangles. Please remember 5 is not an area. 5 was just used to find the height of a triangle, so do not add 5 to our surface area. So this is going to give us 96 feet squared. Remember, area has units that are always squared. Letter B is a regular triangular pyramid. Okay, so again, just like before, we're going to find the area of our base first. So our base this time is a triangle. So let's draw out this triangle. And looking at my triangle on the bottom, I notice these markings here. These markings mean that all the sides are the same length, which means all sides of my triangle are 6. But the one thing I want you to notice is that the height that I give you is not for the base. I don't give you the height of the base of this triangle. And we need to know height in order to fill out our formula. Okay, so what I do want you to notice though is that inside this triangle, I actually have a right triangle. Okay, so this right triangle, I'm going to redraw it bigger so we can see our measurements. We know this line right here, and that's 6. This orange line at the bottom is half of the whole triangle, so it's half of 6, so it's going to be 3. And we do not know the height. Okay, so remember that this is a leg, and in our Pythagorean theorem, a leg is either going to be letter A or letter B. It doesn't matter. I'm going to say it's letter A. And we're going to fill out our formula, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, we don't know what a is, so I'm going to leave it alone. Plus b is going to be 3, because that's our other leg, and 6 is our c. So we have a squared plus 9 equals 36. We subtract 9 on both sides. So I get a squared equals 27. We find the square root of 27, and this is going to give us an approximation. It's going to be about 5.2. So we have now found the height of this triangle. Okay, it's about 5.2. So now we have all the information we need to find the area of our base. We're going to do 1/2 times 6 times the height of our triangle is 5.2. Okay, so when we multiply all of these, we end up getting 15.6 is the area of my base triangle. So we still need to find the area of the rest of our triangles, okay, the ones that are standing up. And remember we talked about yesterday, these are all three going to be the same because they all have the same base. So our last triangles, we have 3 of those. Again, I'm going to draw it out so we can see it. So for this triangle, we see that our base is 6. And I actually, in this triangle right here, give you your height. Your height is 10. So that's all the information we need for our formula. So we're going to have 1/2 times the base of my triangle is 6 times the height of my triangle is 10. And that's going to give us 30. Now again, what we have to remember is we have 3 of these. So we need to do 30 times 3, which is 90. That's the total area of all 3 triangles. So now we have the area of the base, we have the area of all 3 triangles, so we can find our total surface area. So the area of our base is 15.6, plus the area of our triangles is 90. And that's going to give us a total of 105.6 centimeters squared. Letter C is again another square pyramid. I'm not going to ask you to do these type of problems with rectangular pyramids. Okay, they will always be square. So this one is a lot like letter A up at the top. So again, we're going to start off with our base, and the base is a square. So we're going to redraw this square, and it has a side of 14. So again, our formula for a square is A equals S squared, where S is going to be 14. 14 squared is 196. So the area of my base is 196. Okay, now we need to find the area of all of our triangles. This time we have 4 of them, and they're all the same because we have a square base. So looking at this triangle, okay, we know that our base is 14. Okay, so if I look at this triangle out here, my base is 14, but the height that I give us is the height of the pyramid, not our slant height. The height of my triangle is this orange line right here. Okay, so I don't give you that number, and in order, just like letter A, to figure this out, I need to make a right triangle. In this right triangle, I know that this leg is 24. It points it out for me. This bottom leg is half of the length of our square. So half of 14 is 7. And the side that we do not know, our slant height, is our hypotenuse, letter C. So we're going to fill in our formula, where A is going to be 24 and B is 7. 24 squared is 576 and 7 squared is 49. When I add those together, I get 625. We need a square root both sides, and the square root of 625 is 25. So I have now found the slant height, which is also the height of my triangle. Now for our triangle, we have everything we need to know to fill out our formula. We have 1/2 times the base is 14 and the height is 25. When we multiply these together, we get 175. But again, we must remember there are 4 of these triangles, so I need to take 175 and go ahead and multiply it by 4. I now have the area of my square, my base, and I have the area of all 4 triangles, so now I can find my total surface area. So that is 196 plus 700, and that's going to give us 896. We don't have units, so I'm going to go ahead and just put units squared.